Welcome to another day of Vlogmas. I hope y'all have been enjoying all of these vlogs so far, and I hope that this one is also to your enjoyment. It has been a few years, I think a few years since I've done a wrap chat, and that was actually one of the things that y'all requested. So I'm going to be wrapping kid gifts because Cody is nosy. These are some bows that I had bought for Mila to play with. I might attempt sticking them on. The adhesive on them is not so great, but I got tape. So I'm not doing anything special to the gifts. I got some little labels, and I did find these little gift tags. There's 12 of them. So I might use these and just put one, like I have multiple gifts for kids, so I'm just going to probably do one on like the biggest one, and then just put one of these on the other one because I got 12. Got to figure out how I want to wrap some of these because I feel like, man, it would have been perfect if it would have been the same size. I might just wrap it together. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm really going to rig up some of this, and I hope that y'all can't hear the dishwasher. I also have Mila's monitor up here with me. Cheers, friends. So I just got some cheap paper from Walmart. I had some nice paper that I got after Christmas last year, and then I was doing an activity with it. If y'all seen that Frosty toss on Instagram that I made for Mila, I need a trash bag. That paper was so thick, I was like, it was going to take me 1,000 years. I mean, it was very nice, legit paper, but it was too thick for wrapping gifts, I thought. I mean, at least for just like for kids gifts. I'm trying to think of some stuff that y'all have been asking. I guess we can start with braces. I know I was trying to keep you guys in the loop for the whole me getting braces situation, and that hasn't changed. As far as me getting them, I'm still trying to make that happen, especially next year. So I ended up, let me try to give y'all a little bit of a backstory. My dentist that I had, which I will no longer have, I'm actually changing dentists, and it has nothing to do with them. It's just a pretty good distance away that I was driving to go to the dentist office, and they also it wasn't technically like a family dentist office. And now with Mila, I would like to be able to just go to a dentist office that both of us could go to, and one that I felt really good about her going to, because that's like a thing that I didn't really know was how hard it was to find a dentist office for a child. So I found one, but it's just so good that they have a waiting list. Well, and I think too, it's because of COVID, the like braces people, I guess, was also like affiliated with the other ones, and also they were even further than the dentist office, so it just wasn't an ideal situation. I've never had braces, but from what I've been told, you have to go like every month to get them retightened, and I was just like trying to imagine having to find a time each month to be able to go to have that done. So, and I was also wondering if it was just a little on the steep side. So I was going to do some price checking around, but I know for sure I need somewhere that's going to be closer to me. So there's that update on that. I haven't just completely like given up hope on that. I'm just waiting to be seen at the dentist office. This one is going to be all kinds of jacked up. This is not pretty. Why did I decide to put a gift on top of a gift that weren't the same darn size? These young ones don't care. It ain't like they're looking. But you know, your mamas be looking. I know I be looking. I'm nosy like that. Like, let me see that. How that goes. So there's an update on that. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, house hunting. Because of the time of year, we have pressed pause on that. We are not like in desperate need of moving right now. I'm gonna wait until the new year. Now, I say that, but if something were to pop up in the near future, you know, before 2021 comes, I'm not saying that we would not jump on it. Oh Lord, this is aside from me. I don't know if it's because everybody's like put their stuff on the market at one point and it all sold, or if it's because of the time of the year and they know that people aren't maybe looking as much. There just has not been that much. How did I do the other side? There just have not been that many houses as there were being put on the market before. There's just not as many now. So either everybody just put them on the market when the pandemic hit, or people are sort of slowing down. And I was telling a friend the other day, I'm like, look, you know what? It's all fine and well, because it's a good thing. It's a good thing that, if y'all have been following along y'all have been following along for all of the house hunting stuff, it is like a madhouse. Like, if you've looked for a house during this time, then you know they don't last very long. At least in our area, they are not lasting long at all. Whereas before, like, we've been looking at houses for a while before pandemic hit, and houses would sit on the market forever. It was definitely a buyer's market then, and now it's really a seller's market, because you know if you're going to put your house on the market, there's a 90% chance it's going to sell in like within that first few days. Like, that's what we've seen. There are some that are still on the market, and the ones that are on the market are the ones that are ridiculously overpriced. And because houses were selling like that, it drove up the price on houses, which is another thing. We're just sitting there like, okay, if we buy now, we're going to have to pay more, because it's so, you know, these selling houses are just so popular right now. We would have to sell, or no, we would have to pay almost double some of these houses. Like, we've seen them listed before, and I'm like, are y'all kidding? You think you're getting that much money for this house? And sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. A lot of houses are still sitting on the market that are like that just got real greedy. So I got so wrapped up in this bow that I totally forgot what I was talking about. Dang, I need somebody here with me to keep me accountable with what I'm saying, so I can stay on track. That's good when I go live, because when I go live, y'all are able to be like, sis, you were just talking about blah, blah, blah. Since I'm sitting here by myself. Because everybody will practically fighting over houses, like putting in these ridiculous offers on these houses and all this stuff. I'm like, well, it's good that y'all's gone. You all bought your houses, and it's over with. So now when our house, you know, the one that's meant for us, comes on the market, all y'all heifers that already bought your house and overpaid for it, and y'all can stay there. So, and because, like I said, we don't necessarily need it right now. We were just trying to plan ahead for the future, because when we you know, we want to have more kids. So we're trying to plan for that. I think I'm going to try to cover that with a bow. And let's cover it with a green bow. Which color green bow? Oh, these are cute as heck. Let's do that one. So there's an update on two things I get asked the most. And then I also got asked about an update on Mila after she's turned a year old. Y'all, she is walking, talking. I'm trying to think of some words that she's been saying. Y'all, she says stuff like she started saying done. Because we've noticed that she stopped doing some of the sign language that she knows. Like all done, and more, she used to clap, because this is more, and I guess she couldn't completely understand it, but she knew the motion, so she would clap a little different than her like aggressive like yay clap. So now she actually does more. She still does eat. This is eat, but she just does the one finger. And instead of doing all done now she actually just says done, done, done. But sometimes it's hard to tell if she's done or if she just likes saying it. She also says get down, because she's heard us say it to the dogs. Well, and we said it to her too. She likes to get on stuff. And right now I'm like, we're trying to find something that she can climb on to learn how to climb. Like, I know people use those pickler things. Okay, but first of all, look. That's so cute. The little dog tag, and then on the back it has to and from. Cute as heck. It's not that big of a travesty with the two gifts stacked on top of each other. But I've seen people talk about that pickler thing, but we ain't got room in this house. Once again, another reason why I like a bigger house. Just the layout of it, like our house, the square footage is like good. It's not small by any means, but it's where they put it and how they laid it out. I don't know whose idea it was, because what happened was this was an older home, and they like completely moved it, like picked it up off the ground, moved it, added stuff onto it, and they did not add it in a smart way. They should have like rearranged things, like moved rooms and also added on, but just move things around, because it is just so you don't have clear sight lines. I didn't realize how important having good sight lines were when you have a kid. Like if I'm trying to cook anything in the kitchen, like it's almost like non-existent to try to get anything done if she is not in my eyesight because she's getting into something. Like today I went out trying to get some stuff and she was here with Cody, and he told me when I got home that she was on the couch and he had just walked in her bedroom and he was telling her to come on, let's get dressed, and he noticed she wasn't coming in like a matter of seconds. He comes out of the room, he's like, what are you doing? And he looks and she's on the couch and she goes to running off the couch in the corner of the couch, in the corner of the sectional, runs off the couch, falls on the floor, and I guess the way she fell, she was all like, you know, and she wasn't moving, like she was just laying there crying. Picks her up and he's shaking her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, child. So I'm like, man, it's just like if we had just easier sight lines, and I'm not saying that that wouldn't have been, if we would have had an open concept house, that wouldn't have happened, because it most certainly will, and it can, but I'm just saying, like if I'm in one room, it would be nice to just be able to see, because this big old wall here, like you can't see anything. You can't see anything. It's just a lot of thoughts in my head when I'm thinking about it, especially if we get to build like all the things that I would like to do. Once you've lived in a house for however many years, and you know, you've evolved, things have changed, but you've got to see how you like things and how you don't like things. When it comes time for you to build, oh boy, do you have an opinion about stuff, because then you're like, this don't work, I don't like this. Y'all know we were going to build. About a week before we had Mila, we went and signed some papers to build a house. But what happened is that there is no land, and we looked and looked and looked and looked until we had to back out. Why did I just do that? We had to back out, which we didn't lose anything. That was another reason why we felt confident in putting that, like signing the stuff that we did, because of the deal at that time. It was going to be refundable. Why did I take that already? And then I don't know if y'all know this, but before the pandemic, I think maybe I think I might have still been pregnant. Yeah, I think I might have still been pregnant. I think this is what kind of pushed us to go and do the whole house, like building thing, because there's a house and it was kind of near where we live now. It was a brick home. It was older. It just needed some TLC, like cosmetic stuff, and that was perfectly fine because it would give us the opportunity to go in and make changes that we wanted. Made an appointment with our realtor. We were super excited about it. I was already like, I could envision things like in different rooms. Like there was a fireplace in the living room, and it had spots for building shelves on each side, and I could literally see exactly. That was the first time I think I'd ever been able to like actually visualize making changes and remodeling stuff to a house, because normally I'm just like, how do y'all, especially on TV, they walk in them houses and they can see stuff, and I'm like, how did you even see that possibility? My eyes didn't see that. But that was one of the first times, and I hadn't even walked into the house yet. I had only looked at pictures, and I was already getting so many ideas. And it was on 5 acres. It was off from the road a good piece. It had a nice yard. And it had a building outside. It was just really nice. We made our appointment. Our realtor was getting ready to, like we were getting ready. The realtor was getting ready to head over to the house for us to meet him. And he called us, like I think Cody got off work early that day. And he called us to let us know, because he was like, well, I had just a few more questions to ask the listing agent. So he calls her on the way down here. And she's like, I don't know why you're going to that house. That house is, that house got an offer and we're not showing it. And he's like, wait a minute, I just made the appointment. You know, like we had to make an appointment to go see it. It weren't like we were just going and seeing it on a whim. She's like, no, it was real shady. It was real shady the way it went down. The house was still on the market and they didn't take it off. I'm thinking it was somebody that, like maybe that she knew, and she was trying to make sure that nobody else got it and was trying to kind of hold it until they can get their stuff situated. That's the impression that I got. We were super upset about it because I'm like, man, I think this is it. This is it. It was a great price, and we would have had a lot of wiggle room to spend how we saw fit with all the different changes and stuff we wanted to make. That's when I think we were just like, Cody looked at me and he was like, I'm over this. I'm overlooking. I'm over getting my hopes up. We'll just build, and we can build wherever we want and how we want. And then Can't do that either. I know that God has a plan, and I know that His timing is perfect. And though a lot of times we don't understand, we don't see it, He does. Because I was telling Cody, I was like, look, I said, the more I look at these pictures, I think somebody died in that house, which is fine. But the more I started feeling like it was not like a blissful death. It was more like a tragedious death. If you've never heard me use that word before, it's one of my favorite words. Is it a real word? I don't know. But it's one of my favorite words. Yeah, it looked like maybe somebody was like clawing the walls, kind of like an Emily Rose moment or something. So I was like, you know what? I believe the devil was there, so we didn't need that house. The Lord knew. The Lord always knows. And I ain't questioning Him. I am not questioning Him. Just like that house we put an offer in on, I was like, look, we knew that, we don't know the people that were selling it, but we knew that they were once married and now she's remarried. And I was like, we don't know what went down in that marriage in this house. You know, like, we don't know. They could have had some real ugly fights in here. There could have been some these walls could have just soaked up a lot of bad memories. Or it could have soaked up a lot of good memories. See, we don't know. But the fact that we didn't get that house and we put an offer on it, and we really thought that was going to be it, which there was some things we were compromising on in that house. And I really think that the Lord doesn't want us to compromise. I have also just realized that I have not taken a price off of any of these gifts, and I've already wrapped them. Do I recommend filming a wrap chat? Absolutely not, because it's a travesty. We're getting somewhere though. We're getting somewhere. So I am going to wrap Mila's stuff, but I'm probably going to wait on that because I probably want to sit down and chill. Just chill when I do that and probably watch something. I can't do that right now. It's happening. This is a hot blessed mess. Also not completely done with shopping for Cody's stuff. Oh, it's paper. My last wrap chat, from what I remember, I'm assuming it was my last one that I did. 2017, y'all, 2017 was a hard year, and I'm sure y'all didn't know at the time when I was filming it, but I do vividly remember sitting here in the same chair, which is why I'm sitting here tonight, because I wanted to kind of relive it a little bit, but also we're in a happier place in life, and just sitting and thinking about all of God's blessings. Yes, we were blessed then, we are blessed now, but it's just seeing things differently, because the life that we have right now is the life that we were praying for that time. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And if you want to go back and watch it, I cried. We lost Walnut that year, and not only that, but I also miscarried that year. And it just seemed like a huge year of loss for us. I just felt like I couldn't keep my head above water. And I think another thing too, what made it so sad was the fact that I was also trying to keep it a secret, because I'm not very good at being vulnerable. So there I was trying to make sure that I didn't show it at all. So anytime somebody mentioned it, and that would like drive me freaking nutty, is when somebody online would say something, and it still drives me nutty now, even with Mila. If somebody mentions something about a baby, like I said something the other day, I did like an Instagram thing of asking me, I was going to pick 10 questions, or no, it was 8 questions to ask while I was doing laundry. And of course, people are like, we're not going to have another baby. And I'm like, y'all, people think it's okay to ask somebody when they're going to have a baby, or when they're going to have another baby. Even if you didn't struggle to conceive, you don't know that person's situation. It is not your business. And I know that I have, this platform, and I'm pretty open about a lot of things, and we share our life, but y'all, there are just some things that you should avoid. And it's not just with me, it's with everybody. That's just a question that I will never be okay with. Yes, I have said it before that we want more kids. So yeah, that's me being open and telling you that, but that's what I'm sharing with you, and that's what you should accept. You shouldn't expect somebody to give you more, because maybe you want more of an answer from me. Maybe you want, okay, well, when are you going to start trying? And when blah, 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 blah. Okay, clearly, I didn't give you that information to begin with, so by you asking me, it's not going to make me give it to you now. If I didn't just openly give it to you in the first place, I'm not going to give it to you for you asking me and sometimes harassing me for it. I have answered, and most of the time I answer is whenever God gives us another one, but I'm just like, y'all, like, seriously, back off. Back off. Quit asking people this. Stop asking them when they're getting married. Stop asking them when they're having kids. Just stop. You need to stop. Not just for me. This is for everybody. There's probably so many people right now that are watching this and they're like, yes, please, sis, preach. Because they feel that way. And they're always like, I know there was a lot of people this holiday season that were probably relieved they didn't have to go and see family, because there's a lot of times that you walk in and it's as if nobody has depth. Like they can't think of anything else to say or to ask you other than, when are you getting married? It's about time y'all had, you're getting old, and it's about time you do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when did y'all ever think that it was appropriate to say these things? Don't be that person. And I know sometimes it's a habit, or, you know, like kind of like when somebody says have a good day, or no, somebody says enjoy your food, like when you go through a drive-thru and you think they're going to say have a good day, but they say enjoy your food, and you say you too. Because it's a habit. So I get that. For my sake and other people's sakes, make it a habit to stop. Start catching yourself when, you know, in situations and you're like, no, I shouldn't have said that. Or maybe even if you already said it, and if it come out of your mouth faster than what you could stop it, perhaps apologize to them and say, you know what, I don't even know why I asked you that, because it ain't none of my business. Just go ahead and correct yourself. That will mean so much more than you still standing there knowing you had no business asking that, but you did anyway. People would respect you for that. If you ain't got nothing else to say, then don't say nothing at all. That's just it. Yo, these gifts are cute as heck. I mean, they're a little ratchet, but we're just blessed in this season, and we're very happy. We're very appreciative of where God has brought us and where He's going to take us, and I'm always praying for God's guidance in everything, and that whatever we do will be pleasing to Him, and continue to share His light and His love here on these platforms. I know that's why why I was given this platform, to be a light, and I have prayed that over Mila constantly, for her to be a light in people's lives, and to just let His love just radiate through her and just beam all out of her, and that's all that people can see when they look at her. I have prayed that so many times. Now, I will say, I need to know down below in the comments, what kind of child were you growing up when it came to gifts? And where did your parents put the gifts? See, Mama would put them in her closet. And I know that because and she would wrap them. She'd wrap them, and I would go and oh Lord Jesus Christ, oh the devil. Do I need, okay, it's fine. It's fine. I would go and I'm like, I'll be able to pick it, I'll be able to figure out what it is just by cutting the tiniest, or like ripping, not cutting, the tiniest little like corner. I'll be able to see what it is, and she won't even know that I tore a hole. Most of the time, or no, I don't even think she ever did know until I got older and I told her what I had done. I want to put it in different places every year, because, you know, they kind of start getting a little, and I kind of want to put it somewhere that they won't even think to go, or won't go, like in the attic, or deep in their daddy's hunting stuff or something, you know, like I want to think of somewhere where they won't just immediately think, like just in a closet. or under your bed. I don't know. Where do y'all hide the gifts? Of course, my child ain't old enough yet to even know. So right now, they're just sitting in our guest bedroom right there on the bed. She don't even know. She walks in there and has no idea what she's looking at. I mean, she's at that age where I can take her shopping with me for her Christmas stuff, which is great. But I know it's coming where she's not gonna be able to go with me. There's these kids at this boutique in town that are wrapping gifts, and I was real tempted. It's for like something for charity or something, and I was like, I don't even care what it's for. I'm gonna take y'all all this stuff and let y'all wrap it. But I said no. I said I was gonna film a rap chat. I need to film that rap chat, and I can't film it if I ain't got nothing to rap. So here I am. I have no idea what else I want to get Cody. He is so expensive. If y'all didn't know, the expensive one in our relationship is not me. I've seen some stuff before where people were talking about me spending money, and I'm like, y'all don't even know me. That tells me right there that y'all don't know me. My friends will tell you why, yes, I do buy things. Y'all just don't know the extensive research that I do and how cheap I am, and you just don't know. Y'all have no idea. You think you know. You watch a video and you think you know a whole person's life, and you don't. So I always keep that in mind when I'm watching other people. When I go to want to like roll my eyes about something they just said or something they're doing, I'm like, you know what, Paige? That ain't your place. Because you don't know. You don't know where they're at in life. You never know. Because I've said it so many times about me, and I know what people have said about me before, and I sit back in awe, and I'm just like, if you knew me, like if you actually knew, oh, I cut that real close. If you knew me, you wouldn't be saying that. So I think twice before I open my mouth and say anything about people here on social media. Now, I'm not going to say I always did that, but I can definitely say that I've grown a lot in the last, what, 4 years here on YouTube. I've been here for a while, and I've seen a lot of growth in me. Pretty proud. I've seen a lot of growth in myself. Maybe not so much my channel growth, because my subscribers have been stagnant, and I don't know what's going on with that. But you know what? It's just another season. I'm not questioning God. Just gonna roll with it. I was a little, you know, I've said like a few times, I'm like, I don't get it, and it makes no sense, and I'm, you know, might want to like compare and get caught in that little trap. There's no use in it. There's no good in it. It's not doing any good to me to stress over it and question it and try to figure it out. The internet is a strange thing, and we never quite know how things happen and how numbers happen and how the algorithm's going and why it does what it does. So I ain't questioning it, because God is over all. God is over YouTube. God is over Instagram. He's over all of it. Yes, I know there are, you know, people here that control things, but at the end of the day, if God don't want it to happen, it ain't gonna happen. So you might think you're in control, but you really ain't. Why would you want to be when you don't know what's good? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what's fully good, because you don't see things in its complete existence. You only see it in the here and now, and you don't see years from now what your decisions that you're making in that moment. You don't see what it's going to do later on down the road, but God does. He knows everything. He sees it all. So why would you want to take control over that situation when it could possibly alter something in the future that needs to happen? God knows that, you know, like really think about it. He knows that. He knows the things that are going to happen. So yeah, you better believe I'm going to give him total control over it and let him handle it, because he knows. He sees it all. I'm not going to try to do it, because I'd be messed it up. That's what I was doing when I was trying to get pregnant. I was trying to have control over it, because I'm like just a slight control freak. I feel like all of us kind of are at some point, especially when you want something so bad and it's like you're doing everything in your wheel and it's just not panning out for you. And that was what was going on for us. It got to the point that, because I know it was bringing us together. It was just a really sad thing, and me and Cody were really leaning on each other. But then the longer we were in that season and we weren't seeing anything, like it was almost 2 years, it got to the point that then you start picking things apart, and then you're picking each other apart, and then you're picking fights, and then you're starting to blame not only yourself, but then you blame your partner, and you're just thinking of all these different scenarios and trying to figure out why, because you're trying to be in control. Because here I am, if I can think of all these different scenarios and figure this out, then I'll become pregnant. So I need to figure all this out, and if it's my fault, then I can change this, or if it's his fault, then I need to go about X, Y, Z and make sure he does this. When in actuality, it's going to happen in God's timing, regardless of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to change. And I had to see that. I just want to end this rap chat with a with hope. If you have been praying about a situation, or if you've been in that season of wanting something so terribly bad, and it's you see it happening all around you, and it's not just babies. That can be like what house is for us right now, a job, a spouse. Like, there's so many different scenarios where you see things, you've been praying about a certain situation, and it's just not happening right then, but you're seeing it all around you. Especially now with all of us, you know, having to stay away from people, and we're on social media more than we ever were before. You're seeing it all the time, and I know I've been there. I'm still there, just in a different scenario now, and I know the hurt and that yearning for something, possibly questioning God, what's going on. I understand that, but I want to end this video tonight with a message to let you know that God is with you always. He will never leave you. Even when you've like completely given up on him and it just seems like all hope is lost, and you're just so out in the world, and y'all, he still doesn't give up on us. Even in those moments, he's just sitting there waiting patiently for us to just come back and say, God, I need you, and he's there. Do y'all know anybody on this earth that you can just treat them like pure crap and just toss them aside, but yet go pick them back up after you've done all these bad things to them time and time again, and they'll be there for you immediately and give you everything that you need emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It just is mind-blowing when you really sit back and you think about it, how much he does for us and how much he loves his children. So if you've been in that negative headspace and you are in that season of limbo and wanting something, and your prayers haven't been answered yet on your time, here's your message. Just to continue to have hope and have total faith in God, that he knows the most perfect time, the most perfect outline of events. He knows that. We don't know that. So yes, you might think that right now is the time for you and that everything is just lined up right. So why didn't this happen? Because it wasn't the right time. And though things might have seemed like it was laid out perfectly, if you thought that was perfect, just wait until the moment when it is supposed to happen, and that is even more perfect. It is the epitome of perfect, because that was God's ordained time for that to happen. And you're going to sit back and look and think back to that time that you wanted this specific thing, and it's going to be like, oh, I see now, God. I see why we had to go through that season of life. Because a lot of times, if you don't go through those seasons, it's almost as if you can't fully appreciate and love those things once you get them. I know that he knows that. He sees us where we are in that place that we're in. He's like, they're not ready just yet. I know they want it right now, but they're not ready just yet. In order for them to fully grasp it and enjoy it and it be as fulfilling to them as they need it to be, we can't do it just yet. We gotta wait. We need some things to happen first before that. And that goes with a lot of things, y'all. So I just wanted to leave y'all with that tonight. Give control over to God. I've said that. And I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I know. But you can ask God to help you with that. I know that, me personally, I would say it. I'd be like, yes, God, I'm giving it to you. And I would tell, you know, like the handful of people that I would talk to about it, I'm like, I'm going to stop trying. I'm going to give it over to God. But then in the back of my head, I would still check on that thing, you know, like you'd still go peep in and be like, God, did you, okay, you're not doing nothing with it yet? Okay, well, I just wanted to come and check. And no, that's not giving control over to him. You're still trying to have your hands in it. And we can't do that, y'all. We just have to take our hands out and give him complete control. But I hope y'all enjoyed this completely all over the place random vlog for Vlogmas. I'm just happy that I was able to get something accomplished tonight, and I was also able to hang out with y'all and hopefully give you a little laugh and maybe some motivation to get your gifts wrapped, and maybe also a little word maybe that you needed. I know that when God gives me a word that it's for somebody in particular, and it might not be for everybody, but there could be just one person watching this and that's for you. So like I said, this platform was given to us to spread the glory of God, and I want to make sure that I continue to do that, especially even more so going into the new year. I want to just make sure that I am including that in way more things than I ever have before. So yeah, I love y'all. Hope you have a beautiful and blessed night, and we will see you tomorrow for another day of Vlogmas. Okay, and I gotta run over to put my hand on the screen because you know that's my thing. Bye!